Good afternoon, students. How are you all? Hope that you will be doing well. And till now, you must have gone through all the topics that we had discussed till the last discussion, where we had discussed completely the major part of this chapter of bioinorganic chemistry, the oxygen transportation and its utilization, where we had come across a number of subparts, starting with the structural discussion of heme group towards the structural discussion and functions of myoglobin and hemoglobin, the two heme proteins present and playing their part in our body, right? So to continue with the last discussion, where we had discussed the oxygen binding nature of the two heme proteins myoglobin and hemoglobin, we have to continue with a small effect, Bohr effect, which will be affecting the nature of hemoglobin oxygen binding curve, right? So in the last discussion, we had come across these two curves, which were one hyperbolic standing for myoglobin and the second sigmoidal or S-shaped curve standing for oxygen binding tendency of hemoglobin, right? These two curves, these were drawn in between two variables, the percentage saturation of the proteins, that is myoglobin or hemoglobin, and concentration of oxygen taken in terms of partial pressure of oxygen in the unit torr, which was equivalent to millimeters of mercury, right? We had obtained these two curves in the last discussion. In oxygen binding curve, we had checked out that the oxygen binding tendency of both the proteins, it was high and almost same at a high partial pressure of oxygen prevailing in lungs, approximately 100 millimeter of mercury, but the binding tendency was differing a lot at low concentration or low partial pressure of oxygen prevailing in exercising tissues or muscles, where myoglobin still was showing a high affinity for oxygen, but hemoglobin, this was showing far less affinity for oxygen at low partial pressure prevailing in tissues or muscles or cells of our body, right? So today we have to, after this effect of the concentration of oxygen upon the two proteins, we have to add upon the other two factors which will be affecting the binding efficiency or releasing efficiency or improving efficiency of hemoglobin to release more and more oxygen to the tissues, right? So these two factors which are playing their effect towards the efficiency of hemoglobin to release oxygen, these are the H ion concentration and carbon dioxide concentration, both of which are being produced regularly in our body, right? So where these two species are produced in our body, carbon dioxide, we all know that this is the result of metabolic processes occurring in our body, right? So which are those metabolic processes which are producing carbon dioxide in the body? This is aerobic, this is cellular aerobic respiration, which is occurring at the cost of oxygen, which is carried by hemoglobin from lungs into the exercising tissues, where this aerobic cellular respiration is going on for the production of carbon dioxide, right? So as a result of the cellular aerobic respiration, not only we are producing the energy rich ATP molecules, but also carbon dioxide is produced in that cellular respiration process, right? So this carbon dioxide, this is produced at the cost of oxygen, which is released from hemoglobin into the exercising tissues or muscles or cells of the body, right? So this carbon dioxide, when is carried into the blood, right? So when carbon dioxide which is produced in the tissues is entering into the blood or the red blood corpuscles, it immediately reacts with water, and in presence of enzyme carbonic anhydrase, it produces carbonic acid, which fairly is a good acid and dissociates immediately into H ion and bicarbonate ion, right? So as a result of consumption of oxygen for metabolic activities, we are producing carbon dioxide, as a result of which H ion are produced in our body, right? So more is the production of H ion, lowering will be the pH in the medium, right? So next, now both carbon dioxide and H ion, these are having a tendency to bind onto some special sites of hemoglobin than oxygen, right? Means like oxygen which is binding onto hemoglobin, H ion and carbon dioxide, these also can bind onto some special sites of hemoglobin and affect the efficiency of hemoglobin to release more and more oxygen, right? So this is Bohr effect, which is showing the effect of efficiency of which is showing the effect of carbon dioxide and hydrogen ion concentration on binding tendency of hemoglobin or efficiency of hemoglobin to release oxygen, right? So this is Bohr's effect, which tells or which can be defined as, in a single line, this can be defined as efficiency of hemoglobin is affected by H ion and carbon dioxide in our body. This is Bohr effect, right? Or it can also be defined as, in your notes, this Bohr effect states that hemoglobin's oxygen binding affinity. Remember, here we are talking about binding affinity, whereas in this case we are talking about both binding and releasing affinity, right? So when we are discussing Bohr effect, or when we are defining Bohr effect in terms of binding affinity for hemoglobin, inverse will be the relation with respect to acidity or carbon dioxide concentration, right? So in terms of binding affinity, the Bohr effect states that hemoglobin's oxygen binding affinity is inversely related to acidity or H ion concentration and concentration of carbon dioxide, right? Whereas if you have to define in terms of oxygen releasing tendency of hemoglobin, then this will be stated as that hemoglobin's oxygen releasing tendency is directly related to H ion concentration and concentration of carbon dioxide, right? Means more is the production of carbon dioxide, more is the production of H ions, right? Or in combined way, more carbon dioxide and more is the H ion production in our body, more will be the consumption of oxygen, and more will be oxygen released from hemoglobin, right? Means efficiency of hemoglobin to release oxygen, this will be increased by increased H ion and carbon dioxide concentration in our body, right? This is Bohr effect, which can be explained by taking help of these three comparable curves for hemoglobin only, right? So all these three curves, for the first instance, these can be compared with the binding affinity of myoglobin, where all the three curves, these are showing less binding affinity for oxygen with respect to this hyperbolic curve of myoglobin. So in all the cases, hemoglobin, this will be showing a less tendency, less affinity for oxygen with respect to the myoglobin binding affinity, right? But we have to apply Bohr effect onto the binding affinity or efficiency of hemoglobin only. So we have drawn for comparison here three different curves at three different conditions, where the first hard or dark curve, this was drawn under the conditions the absence of carbon dioxide, no carbon dioxide, and a pH of 7.4, which is the normal pH value in lungs, right? The second blue curve, this is drawn under the condition again absence of carbon dioxide but pH falling down to 7.2, right? So in comparison to first case of 7.4 pH, this pH is lowering to 7.2, means you have increased H ion concentration here in the case, right? But here we are not changing carbon dioxide level for this curve, right? So what is happening, that in comparison to the first hard curve, where we were having both unfavorable factors, means absence of carbon dioxide and high pH value, in comparison to the second case, for the first, in comparison to this first condition, the second curve of oxygen binding of hemoglobin, this was shifting towards the right side, means a change in H ion concentration, increased H ion concentration, decreased oxygen binding affinity of hemoglobin, shifting the curve towards the right side, right? Or it helped in increasing oxygen releasing efficiency of hemoglobin, right? Means binding affinity is reduced down but releasing tendency is increased, right? Next, let us come to the third situation. Third is the situation where H ion concentration is taken as the same as the second case, but in comparison to first, increased H ion concentration is there in the third case also, right? pH is 7.2 in comparison to first where it was 7.4, but here we were also having the presence of carbon dioxide, which is the different condition in comparison to first two cases, right? So here in this case, not only we have increased H ion concentration, decreased pH, but also we have added carbon dioxide to the medium. This is the presence of carbon dioxide, which is approximately taken here 14 millimeters of mercury, right? So by both these effects, by both increased concentration of H ion and addition of carbon dioxide, you can see the nature of this oxygen binding curve of hemoglobin, which again shifted to more right side in comparison to first two cases, right? So this is Bohr effect, which is the combined effect of both H ion concentration and carbon dioxide, where the increased concentration of both decreased oxygen binding affinity of hemoglobin but increased oxygen releasing affinity of this, oxygen releasing tendency of this hemoglobin, right? So you can also check out that what about the difference of oxygen concentration for these three cases when entering into the tissues, right? So let us move from this right side, extreme right of the curve at the top, where the oxygen binding concentration, it was high for hemoglobin. Partial pressure of oxygen again was high, and this condition was applicable to lungs, right? Here the y coordinate value, it was approximately 9.8, which was taken as equivalent to 98%, right? Means it indicated that if the y coordinate is at 0.98, this will be showing 98% saturation of hemoglobin, which is there in the lungs at high pressure of oxygen, right? Now as this hemoglobin carrying such much amount of oxygen from lungs moves into the tissues, the exercising tissues of our body. Remember, where the partial pressure, it was in between 20 and 40. We will be considering the condition of 20 millimeter of mercury, partial pressure of oxygen prevailing in tissues or muscles, right? So for these three different conditions, we are having now the three values for y coordinate. The first value, this was approximately at 0.32, indicating 32% saturation of hemoglobin for oxygen. The second value for the middle curve, this was at the y coordinate value 0.21, indicating 21% of hemoglobin saturation, whereas the third curve, it was approximately at 0.1, the y coordinate value, indicating 10% hemoglobin saturation for oxygen, right? So what these three values indicate in comparison to 98% oxygen, 98% saturation of hemoglobin for oxygen in lungs, the three values indicate that for the first case, this one, the dark curve, we have released 66% oxygen into the tissues, right? So how this difference is obtained? 98%, this was present in the lungs, where initially hemoglobin came in contact with oxygen, right? When it entered into the tissues, in the first situation, absence of carbon dioxide and high pH value. The y coordinate, it was showing 32% saturation of hemoglobin difference, which will be indicating that in comparison to 98%, 32%, this was very much less value about saturation of hemoglobin. It means that out of 92 minus 32, 66% oxygen, this is released in going to tissues, right, in the absence of carbon dioxide and pH of 7.2, right? Now let us move to the second condition, where we are again having the absence of carbon dioxide but increased H ion concentration, lowering down the pH, right? So what it indicated, that in comparison to 98% saturation of hemoglobin for oxygen in lungs, here in this case, for the second curve, hemoglobin was only 21% saturated with oxygen, right? So that means that 98 minus 21 equal to 77%. 77% of the 98% oxygen was released to tissues, again in the absence of carbon dioxide, but when we have increased H ion concentration or lower down the pH to 7.2 in comparison to 7.24 for the first case. Right, now let us come to the last situation of Bohr effect, where both the H ion concentration was increased and also we had made addition of carbon dioxide. Means the presence of carbon dioxide and increased H ion concentration, which affect these two positive factors produced, that these reduced the y coordinate value to 0.1, indicating 10% saturation of hemoglobin here in the tissues under this situation, again indicating that out of 98%, 88% oxygen is released to the tissues at this level, right? So under this condition, 88% oxygen is released to the tissues when we had added both the positive factors, that is presence of carbon dioxide and high H ion concentration or decrease pH to 7.2, right? So this is how you can explain Bohr's effect. Bohr's effect, this is the efficiency of hemoglobin efficiency of hemoglobin is affected by H ion and carbon dioxide concentration in our body, right? Means this Bohr effect, this is discussing the effect of H ion concentration and carbon dioxide concentration upon the binding affinity or oxygen releasing tendency of hemoglobin, or in all this is explaining the effect of H ion or carbon dioxide concentration on the efficiency of hemoglobin, right? So this is all about Bohr's effect, and with this we have completed the major part of this chapter of bioinorganic chemistry, which was oxygen transportation and utilization. Now you have to go through all these important topics, starting with the structure of heme group, then hemoglobin and myoglobin, the two heme proteins, then the oxygen binding curve of hemoglobin and myoglobin both, then the role of globin part, then finally the Bohr effect in this way, right? You can add this curve into your notes to describe this Bohr's effect, right? So this is all for today. In the next class we will be starting with the photosynthesis, with another topic of photosynthesis, where we will be discussing first the structure of chlorophyll, which is the major part for photosynthesis process, required for this photosynthesis process, right? So this is all for today. If you get any problem during all these discussions, you can talk to me anytime you want, right? Please go through the topics and discuss whenever you require. Okay, take care all. Good day. See you soon.